Yo, how's it going, Apple? Welcome back to the Game in Apple. So today we are doing a tier list for group play in PvP. I did a tier list for 1vx's, and some people were like, "Yeah, but I don't agree with you here. I don't agree with you here." I was like, I don't think people, even though it was in the title, and I explained that this is a 1vx, a 1vx tier list for PvP in ESO. Some people was like, well, this class does better in dueling. This class does better in group play. You know, you're not representing them fairly. This was too opinionated. So I had to go in the comment section and tell them, dude, this is for 1vx. Okay? Right? You're completely right. You're right for group play or for solo, but that video was for 1vx. And it actually gave me a bit of a headache. So it got me the idea, why don't I just do a group play PvP setup tier list? That's it. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. Right. So I've had a little think about this already. I haven't gone too much detail. I haven't gone and panned all these out and chucked them everywhere yet. I've got like an idea where a couple will go, but this is gonna be like me just thinking and going through it as we go. But yeah, let's get right into it. So this is for group play. So we're thinking 4 people or higher, like between 4 to 8, that kind of ball group kind of area, not Zergling area. 4 to 8 ball group. Um, and then what I'm thinking is group play is a lot of survivability, right? You have to be able to survive. You need to be able to move, and then you need to be able to burst or provide something for your team, right? That's what you need to be able to do. And sorry guys if you see me like looking over here. The screen that I'm on right now is over here. The camera's there. Sorry. Right. Okay. So let's start off with Stamden. I think Stamden is gonna be a solid S. Like, I mean, I don't think anybody can argue with this, especially not after watching King of Games 3v100 video. Jesus Christ, that was awesome. Um, what can I say? Stamden, you got the subterranean. You've got amazing heals. Then if you do an AOE vigor, you can give extra 10% healing to your teammates. Dawnbreaker, spin to win. I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna. I don't think I need to do any more explanation. I think it's just solid S. It's really strong. Another S tier, which I think I'm gonna have to do some explaining for, is Magicka. And some people like Magicka next to Stamden. What's that about? And I'm know in the comment section already. I'm gonna get some hate for this. Hear me out, right? Hear me out. Magicka, right, is trash for 1vx. Absolute trash because of its high skill costs. Uh, Mainly because of high skill costs, and it doesn't really have the best burst, so you need to wear opponents down. However, right, in group play, Magicka is so nice to have. You notice when you've got a Magicka in the group, you can chain people in, you can talon people, you can fossilize, you can just crowd control so well. And then you've got your AoE standard, which you can move. You've got shifting standard, which got the defile on with dots. So when you do your burst come, right, you're coming in, you're doing your subterraneans, you're doing your dawnbreakers. You got the Magicka AoE with defile, right? Then holding them in place with talons, locking them in, deep breath in them. I mean, people think about Magicka can't move. Chuck race against Taimon. I see Magicka do it all the time. Chuck race against Taimon, you're solid, right? Group heals, Magicka won't have to heal itself as much because, you know, everybody be healing each other. So yeah, you're locking people in place. You're doing a lot of AoE pressure. You're doing defiles. And I mean, you're really hard to kill. Like, Magicka is one of the last to go down usually. Um, yeah, I mean, if from a group perspective, Magicka is awesome. And then that brings me on to Macro. Right, and just before I talk about Magicka, I'm going to quickly say about Magicka. So Magicka in my 1vx was in a D, but if I was to make a 1v1 tier list, Magicka would be an A or S again. And this is why I think Magicka doesn't get buffed, right? Even though it's literally trash for 1vx, right? You have to be really, really skilled to 1vx in it. And even then, it's a push, right? But even though it's a D for 1vx, because it's so good at group play, and so good at 1v1, and it just does its, hold them down, lock them down, wear them down kind of play style. This is why I think Zos is scared to buff Magicka, because the slightest buff to Magicka could make it so crazy in any of these areas that isn't 1vx. So that's why I think it doesn't get buffed like it kind of needs to for 1vx. It needs a bit of a rework in terms of skill cost and ability damage and stuff. But yeah, that's enough about Magicka. So, Mag Necro. Is there any more to say about Mag Necro? You got the AoE tether heal, right? You got a massive AoE tether heal for your group. You can use Raised Against Time to move around. You've got your Blast Bones, which do crazy damage. But not only that, you have got the Graveyard, which I've seen tick for 18k. 18k crit, right? Off your own synergy. And then you have the massive Necro ulti, or even Dawnbreaker this patch. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. You're tanky as hell. You are tanky as hell. Yeah. Honestly, I think Magicka is so strong. I'm gonna move on to something that isn't an S tier. Well, what isn't an S tier? So for this, what I'm gonna do is for group play, I'm gonna chuck things like this down here. Magsork and Stamina Nightblade. I'm talking from a damage perspective, right? Because Stamina Nightblade needs to go. I mean, to be honest, it might be like that. Because I think Magsork can do a bit more than Stamina Nightblade. So Stamina Nightblade, basically, you can go invisible. You can do incredible damage. I mean, you get a gank a sniper on the side, yeah. You can nuke somebody. But for group play, you want to be nuking a group. Stamina Nightblades rarely. You rarely get builds where you can go in and hold your own in the open without having to kite, invis, teleport, right? Do Dawnbreaker combo, spin to wins, all that. I mean, you don't get it. That's not the Nightblade playstyle. I think we all get that. It was my S for 1vx, but for group play, guys, I generally think it's a D, because it doesn't do as well as everybody else does. It's really single target, barely any AoE. I mean, you can tailor it a bit, but it can't hold its own. So it will die quite fast. And if it doesn't die fast, then it probably doesn't have the damage. So, yeah. For group play, that's where I put Stamina Nightblade. And then C for Magsork. Might go back and switch this a bit later on. But basically, Magsork is in the same kind of area as Stamina Nightblade. Now, Magsork can hold its own a bit better. Like, standing still in group play. You can stack those shields. You can stick with your group. You can streak. But then, like I said, you need to streak. You need to kind of kite away. And then a lot of your damage is single target damage. A lot of your attacks, I mean, you can add a meteor. You can have a, what is it? Oh, what is that? The Destro ulti. I mean, you can use that. That brings you up, but that isn't kind of in your class. So anybody could use that. What I will say about Magicka, which bumps it up a bit for me, is the fact that you can have negate. And negate is always essential for a group build. However, the negate roll usually goes to either a healer, a magic healer, or it will go to a stam. What is it? Sorry. What's it called? A stam sorcerer. I can't even remember what the blade name was. Yeah, stam sorcerer. Right. Sorry guys, I'm a bit tired. Yeah, stam sorcerer. And we'll get on stam sorcerer in a little bit. All right. What will be next? So this is gonna get a bit more difficult for group play. I generally think. Okay. Now I don't know where to put Magblade. Magblade could go here and here. The thing that Magblade doesn't have, right? What Magblade doesn't have is it doesn't have a what is it? Much AoE, right? In it. It's very single target. However, it can build into AoE more than Stam Nightblade can. And if you go for that AoE ulti and maybe chuck a bomb on yourself, I mean, you can do some effectiveness. I wouldn't be like, yo, let's take a Magblade, unless it's a bomber. If we take a bomber, a bomber is up here, right? Holy shit, a bomber be up there in an S tier, right? But as it sits right now in no PROCS Cyrodiil, in Flames of Ambition, bombers are far and few right now, right? And the bombers you do see have to go in a few bombers at a time. So if we look at the bomb perspective right now, and just like literally you chuck a bomb on you and you do a tether ulti, I mean, you do that with AoE ultis, you're gonna help. It's gonna be helpful. It could be a B, but I just don't think it outweighs the negate. But I mean, I don't think it outweighs the negate at the moment. So it's kind of like I mean, it is kind of like a BC, but I want it like in line with the Sork. And I don't think the Sork is here, so yeah, that's what we're going with. Okay. This is in no particular order, by the way, guys. Okay, so Stam Necro, we're gonna go for a. I actually think it probably has to be an A. It does have to be an A. I don't think it comes under the same category as Stamden or. I mean, it could be an S. No, in fairness, it could be an S. It could be an S because it does the same shite that Magro does, and then you can spin to win. I don't want to put everything in S, right? I don't want to put everything in S. I think this will be the last S. It's just because when you put that AoE ulti down, you give the major vulnerability, and I mean that's crazy. And you put blast bones in as well for the defile. It's extra defile with spin to win. Amazing tankiness, AoE heals through vigor and tether. I mean, yeah, it does probably have to be an S if I'm gonna do it justice. So yeah, it'd have to be an S, which means then Stam Sork is gonna have to go into A, because it's yeah. It doesn't. What Stam Sork doesn't have, right, is the survivability that a Stam Necro has, or a Stam, or a Mag Necro, or a Mag DK, or a bloody Stam Warden. It doesn't have that level of survivability. Obviously, in group play, you don't need as much survivability, but it does still matter. It obviously can still do your AoE Vigor, but that's not in the class. What else can it do? What was it? Yeah, you got your negate. So you can do your negate. You can do spin to win. You've got your streak for your stun if you want to stun everybody. Usually you don't play it like that because you stun them with your ultis. But I think honestly the spin to win with the negate is enough, in all honesty, and then you can switch to Dawnbreaker. Honestly, I think that's enough. It's a really solid, strong class, but I mean, for the I say this, I was thinking, okay, now I'm on the verge of thinking this, because it is literally spin to win, negate, and it hasn't got the tankiness that other classes have. And I mean, I want to put Templar here, and I just don't think it's on par with Templar. Yeah, I would have put it in line with like these. I'll get onto that in a little bit. Okay, so it's gonna stay there for a bit. That could be moved, right? That's like a bottom tier A, top tier B. So let's talk about a Stampler then, right? So Stampler, you can do Crescent Sweep, right? So you don't even have to stun. You can do Crescent Sweep, which is amazing, or you could do your you could do Nova for synergy. Probably won't leave that to a Magpla, but or you could do Dawnbreaker, right? So you got ultimates. You got plenty of ultimate choices, which is good for lineups, for group lineups. And then you also have jabs. You can run jabs with spin to win if you have to. You don't even need spin to win. You can just run a solid build with jabs. And because it's so AoE focused, you can chuck caltrops down, you can do jabs, a Dawnbreaker or a Crescent Sweep, and you're doing some amazing pressure for your group. And then if you put a flare up, you give minus sorcery to your team, which is really nice. So you can provide minus sorcery for the rest of your team. And you can be tanky. I mean, it's not as tanky as the S tiers, but you're in a group after all. And if you're a good Stampler, you can play it well. And then you got a Purge, so you can give the synergy to your teammates. Yeah, I just think it brings a bit more than Stam Sork. Obviously, you want to bring one of these, right? Just because this is a B and this is a C doesn't mean you wouldn't bring them. I would recommend bringing either a Mag Sork either as a healer or a Stam Sork as a DD. For the negate, you want to negate in your group, but you only need one of them, maybe two if you're running a 12-man. Yeah, because you can cover a lot of area too, but it's not like up here. This is like your kill squad up here, right? What next? I think Magden could be a B. Yeah, Magden could be B. And I say that mainly because of the permafrost. So you can either go for the morph that gives you a crap ton of damage, or when you got your 12-8, like your 12-man group, 8-man group, whatever, You do your big permafrost. I can't remember the name of it, but the one that gives you protection to you and your allies stood in it. You move in as a group. Inside of it, you're all taking less damage. You're slowing people down. So crowd control on top of the Mag DK's talons. You're doing a lot of damage on a good build. With you got your version of subterranean. I mean, what's not to like? Then you can also do AOE heals. And then your AoE heals will also buff up your teammates' health by 10% by minor toughness. So yeah, it's solid. It's a solid class. I wouldn't bring more than one of these into my group lineup, but I would bring one because having a permafrost to go through as a team to take less damage, to slow enemies down, to lock people in place, and to do some decent damage and buff up your max health. This is what you want to bring into your class. Like, you would definitely want a Magden either as a healer or as just a Magden. Probably a healer. I think that's the kind of role you would have. Yeah, usually healer, but you can bring it in as a DD. Either one. Right. So Magpla. Now Magpla's iffy for me because it has a purge, so it can give that AoE, and then it can also give the minor sorcery to your team, just like Templar can. Then it has the AoE synergy that it can do from Solar Flare, and if you get a Macro with the the extra synergy damage from the Jewelry enchants, I can't remember what it's called, Harmony. That's it, Harmony. If you get a Macro to do that, I mean, you can deal a lot of damage, and it stuns them all, knocks them all back for anybody that isn't stunned. But the chances are people are getting it stunned anyway, so you're not going to be stunning with this because they'll already be stunned by the other ultimates that have gone down. And I wouldn't bring a Magpla over a Templar, so it would go here. It would go there. Yeah, that's where I would put that. Not much more to say about that. It's kind of like between C and A, so yeah, B. Like, I wouldn't put it down here with the Magblade and the Mag Sork, but I wouldn't quite say I'm not gonna sit out here and say that Magpla is as strong as Templar. Not in my opinion. So yeah, but you can play a Mag. I can see Magpla's play really well if you're a good player. And in group play, they're definitely viable. You can definitely bring these and make this work, no problem. Yeah, so solid B for me. And then Stam DK. Now, I've been thinking about this the whole time because Stam DK is obviously my main. And it's something I don't want to get wrong because I know a lot of you listen to me a lot more when I talk about Stam DK more than anything else. And Stam DK is an A tier for 1vx, for sure. Now, what I'll say for group is the leap. You don't want to be stunning with leap, right? If you stun with leap, it knocks everybody out, which can be a bit of a handicap for group play. However, if you time your ultis right, you do a Necro ulti into a Fear or a Dawnbreaker to stun them, the leap won't knock them back. And then in that case, the leap will do phenomenal damage. It's one of the best ultis, if not the best ulti in the game for straight up damage to players. It is really good burst. On top of that, you can run a spin to win setup. So you can run Toxic Breath for your AoE. What is it? Penetration, Breach, Major Fracture on everybody. With a leap, you can chuck a spin to win on this. You won't need to be running Uppercut. AoE Vigor, you can chuck a Cauterize on for the extra team heals. Then if you run a what is it called? The Major Mending skill. I forget what the morph is called. By the life of me, what is that called? Fragment. I think it's Fragmented. It's not Igneous. I think it's Fragmented, the one that gives you the more healing. Either way, the one that gives you the more healing received for the longer period of time. That morph, either one though, they still give you the minor brutality for the rest of your team. Like Mag DK, you can provide minor brutality for the rest of the team, which is really nice. And I just think it does, and it's really, you can build it really tanky, easy. Survivability on DK is really good, so I would put it as an A. So we're going to go from the bottom now and just have a little quick review. So Stam Nightblade, I wouldn't bring one of these. Very rare bring a Stam Nightblade into a group setup. And then a Magblade. Magblade is, yeah, at the moment when bombing isn't as strong, it's not the best. Later on we'll talk about bombing and we can move this up in the next patch. For now, You've got your AoE ulti with your bomb. I mean, it does decent damage. It's not as bad as a Stamblade, so there it is in a C. Magsork, still single target, needs to kite a bit. You know, it's more focused on itself to stay alive a lot of the time for its shields. I mean, if you put heals on, it doesn't need that as much, but then it only really brings a negate to the table or a meteor. So, I mean, it's not the best for group setups. But definitely bring a Stam Sork or Mag Sork for a group setup. Then we got a Magpla. I mean, it's better than these two, not as good as these two. Same goes for Mag Den, Stam Sork. You could bring a few Stam Sorks in fairness. You could bring a few Stam Sorks for a couple of negates, definitely. Stam DK, always nice to have for the minor brutality. Not needed, but if you do bring it, it is phenomenal damage. See, you can switch, even though a Stam DK is an A, the way it's played, you can switch out for a Stam Necro or a Mag Necro if you're playing Stamina. So you can or a Stampler, because Stampler's like literally verge of being an S. So yeah, you could switch out for the other Stams, but just because you could play the other Stams better in group play, I mean, doesn't mean Stam DK isn't as good. It's still an A. It's still solid. And that just says a lot about stamina classes at the moment. Right. And then we got 2 magic classes in the top tier, which I'm really nice to see because these are usually bottom. And I'm not just trying to buff them up to just try to get attention. I generally think that Mag Necro and Mag DK have amazing group viability when you get the right group composition. So yeah, I stand by those choices. I think some people say maybe it's an A, Magcro performs better, but I generally think Magcro does more damage. Yes, it can burst people down. However, this drains them. You hold them in place. You know, you fossilize them as well. And then you do your big defile, so they can't heal back up. So they'll be in a gate, and then they'll have defile on as well. I mean, man is gonna drop, and then as soon as they come out in the gate, you just move the standard. You do inhale. You got group heals. You got minor brutality for your team. So yeah, I think some Mag DKs are going to agree with me. I think some people aren't. But that's my opinion. Let me know down in the comment section down below. And then I think no question at all for Stam Necro and Stam Necro and Stam Dem. Yeah, but that's my opinion, guys. That's my opinion for group play. In the Flames of Ambition patch, at the moment in Cyrodiil, from like 4 to 12 man, 4, 8, 12 man group. But yeah, that's pretty much my opinion. So anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please make sure to smash that like button, drop a comment, because you know I always love to hear from you guys. We're even blowing up like crazy. Road to 100, not 100, 1,000 subs. Really tough about that. We're streaming later tonight as well. So yeah, about 9 p.m. UK time. So yeah, look out for that, guys. Turn on the bell notification or come join the Discord. The link for the Discord will be down in the description below, and I'll give you guys my times when I upload videos, or like when my videos are going to go up, or when I'm going live, and just general chats in general. You know, it's just nice talking to a really nice bunch of people. We've got many other YouTubers in there which upload content as well, and that play different classes, so some definitely good variety. And then subscribe, guys, to update all my latest content here at the Gaming Apple, and to become part of the Apple Army. We are growing. Let's make the Apple Army stronger. So come join the Apple Army today, guys. Oh my god, that sounds like an army, like a general army pitch line. Jesus. But yeah, sorry about the lighting. I've been recording at night for my streams, so the lighting's been easy. I had like separate lighting, but I got some lighting behind me. I don't want to close the curtains in the day because I don't do that. But yeah, sorry about the lighting. I mean, I got like a nice shadow on this side. But anyway, you guys, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.